Hello and welcome to Lifeform TV. In this demonstration I'm going to be discussing the Analyse tab on your Lifeform software. You remember from the odds demonstration we'd got this far in finding out if we had an edge on the market. Once we've discovered we have an edge, we then have to decide if it's worth having a bet. This is done by using the Analyse tab. The Analyse tab will analyse the potential edge that we've found in the market against past results to see if in the long term this edge is profitable. The first thing we need to do is to decide how much of the past odds data we want to use, and this is done by selecting it by date. If we go to the Results tab, we will see that in this instance we have data going back to the start of the 2008-2009 season. So on the Analyse tab, if we just select the start of this season and today's date, we will ensure that we're going to pull in all of the odds data. If you wish to use only this season's data or half of last season's data, this decision can be made here. Once the decision has been made as to how much of the data we use, the next decision is the edge. The minimum edge and the maximum edge can be set here. If you remember from our odds tab, we have a 14.9% edge, a 24% edge and a 4.6% edge. If we wish to reject small or large edges, these can be done by using this edge minimum and edge maximum. So by setting our required edge from 5 to 25%, we will reject any bets, past bets, that would have fallen into this range, and they will not be included in our profit loss. In this instance we will be examining from 5 to 25%, so these two edges will be examined. Once the edge figures have been set, we click the Start button. Once the Start button is clicked, the back edges and the lay edges will be calculated using the past data that we selected using these dates and using the edge criteria set by these two boxes. Now that this is finished, we have profit loss for back bets and lay bets for all the matches that occurred in this range and with edges between these two figures. You will also notice that some of these other boxes have now been filled in. This is for information purposes. The commission box displays the commission that we have to pay. The back and the lay percentage boxes are reflecting the odds and the over rounds that are against us on the back markets and the lay markets. 0.7% for the back market, 0.5% for the lay market, 0.7 for the back, 0.5 for the lay. It's a home advantage match, and the mu gaps that are being examined are 5 and below. Information about every bet that would have been placed on the back side and the lay side is displayed here. Date gives the date the match was played, the home team name, the home score, the away team name. The historical odds for the match, home team, draw, away team. The bet that the software would have picked, in this case a home bet, because the edge was 7.8% that is within the range that we set, 5 to 25%. The software was predicting the home odds, the draw odds and the away odds. And then our profit loss is in this column. For example, for the first match, you will see that the software predicted a home win. It was a home win, and so the profit is displayed here. Exactly the same for the lay side, with profit and loss in the last column. The profit and loss figures are displayed here. Back and lay. The number of bets for home, away, draw with a total column, and the same for the lay side. Home bets, away bets, draw bets with a total. Profit in points for the home, away, draw and total on the back side, and the same for the lay side. Home, away, draw and total. And then those same figures displayed as a percentage. You will see that the positive profit is shown in green and the negative profit or loss is shown as red. If you remember, we had 3 edges. We decided that we're going to ignore the small edge by selecting our range from 5 to 25%. So only edges in these 2 ranges would have been included in our analyzer calculation. We have a home back edge and an away lay edge. If we look at the analyzer, it's telling us that away lay edges in the range that we set, in this case 24 edge was given, our range was 5 to 25. In this range it shows a loss of all this past odds data. For the home back, 14.9% was within our range, and it shows for the same amount of data that in the long term this type of bet shows a profit. So in this instance the recommendation would be a back bet on the home team. You may also notice that the 4.6% edge that we decided to ignore because it was outside our 5 to 25% range also shows a profit. But because the figure was outside of this range, this bet was not included. Now we can further analyse to see if it's worth a draw bet. And we can do this by pulling in the 4.6 into our range. So in this case, if I lower our requirement for a minimum edge to 3, and then for example, just to narrow the range to try and keep things accurate, to 20, if we run the analyzer again, this time we will pull in the 4.6% bet on the draw back side, and we'll see whether small edges are profitable in this range. Now that the analyzer is finished, we can see that in the range 3 to 20% edges, which will now include 4.6%, on the draw back in the long run is also profitable. So it may be worth considering having a draw back bet as well as a home back bet. And that's all there is to it. If you have any questions, contact the lifeform.com website. At the bottom of every page you will find the required contact information. Thank you for listening to Lifeform TV.